Let's get a check-in on Bitcoin, continuing its decline, now dropping below 57,000.
The Bitcoin price continues to consolidate lower, with volume declining, and many experts blaming this on the US Bitcoin ETF outflows from the last few days.
Flirting with a one-month low yesterday, down about 4% at one point in the trading day. If it hits that key 50,000 level, it's hovering around the 55,000 level right now, but that could be another key technical level for Bitcoin, which could see even more pressure on the asset moving forward here. Also, Bitcoin ETFs had their longest outflow since June over the past couple of days here.
And I do need to update you on Solana, on Chainlink, on lower cap altcoins and more. Watch today's whole video. But what the mainstream media won't report, I will, that's why you subscribe, is that if you zoom out a little, you can see that Bitcoin is still forming a massive bull flag. This tends to be bullish. And if we look at the news coming out of Venezuela today, this seems to be exactly what Michael Saylor predicted.
There's every indication that nation states are embracing it.
The leader of the Venezuelan opposition is proposing using Bitcoin as a national reserve asset.
I think that people understand it's not a threat to the dollar, by the way.
And to be clear, the leader of Venezuelan's opposition, Maria, sees Bitcoin as their one shot to protect themselves against Venezuelan inflation.
The Venezuelan bolivar, once stable at 3 to 4 units per US dollar, has lost 14 zeros under Chavez and Maduro, turning a functional economy into a catastrophic financial crisis. In 2018, inflation reached an unimaginable 1.7 million%, with prices doubling every 4 days. Since 2016, cumulative inflation has exceeded 8 million%, driving millions of Venezuelans to flee our country. This financial repression, rooted in state-sponsored looting, theft, and non-check money printed, happened despite our vast natural resources and despite an oil price boom that peaked at $147 per barrel in July 2008.
Also accumulate Bitcoin in their reserves as a national reserve asset.
Before our gold reserves were plundered, Venezuela had wealthy financial reserves worldwide. We will restore those reserves and include Bitcoin as a key component.
And this revolution is not stopping. Bitcoin is very different than every other asset.
I don't think a lot of people realize there's a very unique aspect to Bitcoin, and that is that with other commodities, they can be consumed, right? Gold is consumed for industrial purposes, jewelry, etc. Oil is consumed, metals. And with financial instruments like stocks, they're driven based on the performance of the companies that the shares represent. And this argument that people have had for years that, well, Bitcoin isn't backed by anything, Bitcoin doesn't represent anything. Here's the beauty of that. Bitcoin trades purely based on the sentiment people have in its value and its scarcity. That's it. It's a much more pure form of investment. And when you see Bitcoin move, yeah, it has 2 times the volatility of an S&P or a NASDAQ, but look at how fast it bounces back.
So yes, the crypto market is dipping today, but even Sergey Nazarov, founder of Chainlink, explains how blockchains and oracles can help prevent the next global financial crisis.
So the global financial crisis was created through a confluence of greed and the profit motive, mismanagement and poor processes, a lack of information, and the siloing of critical pieces of information in places where all the market participants couldn't access it. The thing that I think our industry can really solve is the ability to convey critical information to everyone in the market equally, not just a few select participants that had access to the information. Clearly, it was possible to understand this about mortgage-backed securities because a few key groups made a lot of money uncovering and understanding that data. But the difference is that that data was not available to the larger market of asset management firms, rating agencies, and just market participants. If that had been the case, then the market would have been efficient, the risk would have been reduced much earlier, and the global financial crisis might have never happened. And this transparency of critical pieces of information to the market is what blockchains, oracles, smart contracts do in a very fundamental way.
And if you have a friend that holds Solana or uses a Solana wallet, you may want to send them this. Scammers have found a way to burn tokens from inside Solana wallets.
Scammers on Solana have found a way to burn tokens inside a user's wallet. So the way they're doing this is by using an inbuilt Solana extension called Permanent Delegate that allows the scammer to burn all tokens in a transaction mere seconds after it completes. This extension is intended for things like mistakenly sent tokens, but Solana itself says it can be a double-edged sword.
So reports have emerged of users buying tokens and not seeing it show up in their wallet balances. Imagine you swap for a token and the wallet history confirms that you received it, but then you look inside and nothing shows up.
One Solana user swapped for a token called Red, which had this Permanent Delegate extension, and although the tokens landed in their wallet, 7 seconds later, they were gone. Now, exchanges like Jupiter have put up a warning about this, but if you're active in the Solana ecosystem, make sure you check for the Permanent Delegate extension.
So I believe this applies the most to new or just degen, unheard of coins. If you're degenning this hard, be careful. And big news for Polygon MATIC, finally upgrading, transitioning to a new ticker.
Polygon's migration away from MATIC and toward a brand new crypto token is underway. The blockchain scaling solution has rolled out a network upgrade to convert MATIC tokens to POL tokens. POL will now be the native token for gas and staking for Polygon's POS, or proof of stake system. If you use the POS system, you don't have to do anything to convert your MATIC to POL, but if you hold MATIC on the Ethereum network, a centralized exchange, or some other networks, Polygon says the upgrade will enable holders of that crypto to convert those MATIC tokens. Now, Polygon says the shift to POL will help bring needed upgrades and prepare for future updates for the network, like zero-knowledge proof generation. As of noon Eastern, the POL token dropped more than 7%.
Now scrolling down to Polygon on CoinGecko, we see no transition has taken place yet. I guess it's going through the process. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you got value today. We're really trying to hit 1.5 million subscribers before the end of the year. And looking at news for Injective, which, as they describe themselves, the fastest blockchain for finance, backed by Binance and Mark Cuban. The news today, Injective is introducing the first ever tokenized index for BlackRock's Buildle Fund, a perpetual index product that tracks the supply of the Buildle Fund itself. Now users can access the fund with the lowest fees and fastest speeds in crypto. So how this affects you, and just to clue everybody in, what Buildle is, it provides institutional investors access to yield on assets such as US Treasuries. It's tokenized on Ethereum, and while previously the Buildle Fund was only open to institutions through BlackRock that could invest at least $5 million, now with the power of Injective, anyone around the world can access the Buildle Index Perpetual Futures Market with as little as $1. So I guess it's just sort of copying what's in the fund, I believe. Also, be sure to join us in Singapore if you'll be at Token2049. It's Tuesday, September 17th. Going to be an awesome party. Dylan Francis is the main DJ. It's at the Marquee at Marina Bay Sands. And your ticket, if you choose, does get you free drinks. Link down below. Join us. And like always, see you tomorrow.